Okay, today is
April
4th, 2023. I'm here with the BE collection, Donna LaFortune, talking about her coming out story. Thank you for being a part of this, Donna. Really means a lot to us. When did you first realize that you were attracted to girls or women?
I think when I saw Haley Mills in The Parent Trap.
Okay.
So I was just really smitten with her, and I didn't understand why, but I was really smitten with her. And then she was in that other one where she was in a convent and she became a nun, and I was just
The Flying Nun?
No, that's Gidget, and I had a crush on her too. No, that's Sally Field. But yeah, she was my age or played someone my age, and yeah, I really could relate to her too.
So you had a nun attraction for a while.
No. That's what turned me off about Haley Mills. No,
I'm
not at
teasing
all.
you.
Oh, okay.
So how old were you then? When you first aware of it?
13, 14. And I didn't talk about it. Then it wasn't very long. I was 15 when I was at Temple City High School, and this girl walked in to the evening catechism thing they had, and she walked through the door, and I remember her saying, "Well, hi," and I was like, "Whoa," thunderbolts. And her name was Judy, and come to find out, she was in my same grade. She was in I had her in typing, and I had her in social studies. And didn't take long before she told me she had a dream about kissing me.
Wow, that's a good dream. So here's Marge. Hello.
Hey there. And that intrigued me.
Donna's talking about this woman who had a dream about kissing her. Oh.
Yeah, we were both 15. And I thought, wow. And then one time we were over at her family's house, and she says, "Oh, I can't stand it." She dragged me into her room and she kissed me. And I was like, really, like, it was the beginning of my world. Now, we didn't have any
give you a dream. My dream came true. Sweatshirt.
Her dream came true, and then it became my dream too.
Right.
Yet we, being good Catholic girls at 15, we didn't, we never thought of having sex. We were just so in love with one another. We wrote each other notes. We typed them when we were in typing class. We walked home together almost every day. We played Heart and Soul, on the piano.
Right.
And we, I did one side and she did the other. It was just, so fabulous. We actually went to the
I used to watch girls do that and wish that I could play the piano.
Well, neither one of us could play the piano. We just did that.
But they did that pounding thing, right?
Yeah. She did the bum, 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 and I did the melody. So I can't even hear that song without thinking of her. And we were just so enthralled with one another. We still kind of went to dances and things, but that was something separate. That wasn't us. And we spent more and more time just with each other. And it was glorious. And then, of course, we never turned it sexual because that was a little too advanced for us at that time. It was the 60s. 16, 15, 16.
Yeah.
It just didn't occur to us to go there. We weren't thinking of having sex with guys either. It just wasn't a part of it. So,
well, at that point in girls' development, they don't exactly know what going there is.
Yeah, and we didn't have a word for it. We just knew we were extremely in love. We wanted to own the house on the backside of the high school, and on the way to Santa Barbara, there's that just before you get to Santa Barbara, there's a coastline and it kind of comes out like that.
Right, right.
And there's all these beautiful homes there. And we used to say that's where we were going to live someday. Next time you go up there, you'll see it. You'll go, oh, that's it. And
Well, there's a house on that point, and I used to run along that beach on my way back to LA. And I used to think one day I'd like to live in this house.
Well, you can join us. It'll be crowded out.
But I know the place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because my parents had a camper. And so we'd lay on the bed up above, the camper looking out.
Mhm.
We went up to Solvang and stuff a lot. So we just cuddle and kiss and she'd hold me all night. The first night she held me, I didn't even get any sleep. It was so wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And then her mother there was this book we were somewhere, and she says, this is what my mother says we are. And and we were both like, huh? Because we didn't have that reference, we were just in love, period,
Mhm.
the end. And then her mother found letters, and we wrote, like I said, we were in typing together, and if one of us was absent from school, we'd send a note to one another and put smack on the back of the envelope. I mean, hello, we were not discreet. Didn't know how to be discreet, but anyway, her mother just kind of forbid us to be together, and I was really traumatized.
Yeah.
And she moved to San Clemente. And so as soon as I got my license that summer in July, guess where I was driving my little VW to? It was,
Right.
But her mother was kind of hovered around all the time.
Mhm.
Years later, after she had married and had 2 kids, she called me and we got together at her aunt's house in Arcadia. And I remember her mother walked around then too.
Really?
And we were kind of like, huh? So, yeah.
Do you ever think those women that are mothers like that were lesbians that didn't go through with the whole life?
I have no idea. I really don't.
I know
But
you
again,
don't know, but
yeah, I never thought of that.
Mhm.
So, but even Judy said, why is she hanging around now? It was a done deal. And she told me, this is like in 78. Now this is a full 10 plus years. And she says, I told my husband I was going to see you today. And he said, it's the only time you ever felt anxious or jealous
Mhm.
about me seeing anybody. And I thought, whoa. So then a few years later, just a few, stopped and
So
saw
when you
her.
saw her, did you kiss her or?
Oh no. She
you
had her little
kept your
girls
distance?
running
Yeah.
around. Yeah. No, that stopped. Not immediately, but it stopped.
Uh-huh.
Well, into our junior year. Junior year, now she starts going out with guys, and she's at a different high school than me. And I tried with my friends to become more girly. That was not successful, but we tried. And
What
then
did
I
you
met,
do?
huh?
And what did you do to develop a girly lifestyle?
Oh, dressed like them, had my hair done by them, my makeup done by them.
Mhm.
And I tried to care about it. It didn't stick, but so I gave that up. Not the friends, but I
good.
gave that. That was gone. So I met someone named Joy, who I found out years later was having an affair with our PE teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Never stops, right?
No. And her cousin Gay, actually, what's her name, told us about this wonderful coffee house on Fairfax in Hollywood. And so we started going there, and there was a good singer. Her name was Terry Lee. She and her ex BJ owned the place, and then their girlfriends also worked as servers. But we just went there all the time because we just liked the ambiance of the place. And but there are a lot of kids coming from LA Junior College. And there was just this undertone of, oh, we all are, but are we what? You know, it was.
Nobody said that word.
Oh, no, never. Absolutely never.
And it was a hard word to say.
It was.
Except
for Joy. She always was saying it. We'd ride home on the freeway and she'd say, let's play lesbian lookout. Uh-huh. And she tried it. She'd say, oh, there's some in that car. And I was driving, so I couldn't fit, I didn't get to see them. Anyway, so through all those people, there was this nightclub in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard that had opened up to 18 plus. And that's where I went to meet somebody the first time. I don't remember the name of it, and I've been trying to look it up. I can't find the name of it. But
did you ever
yeah,
go to the Hialeah House?
Huh?
Did you go
No,
to the
Hialeah House was way up on the other end of Lancashire. I went there, but I worked for Joni of Joni Presents.
Oh, did you? Good for
Yeah.
you.
Before I even turned 21, she hired me. I cleaned the bar in the morning because I was just in college. But I remember one time she had miniature schnauzers and she says, come with me. And we went to the vet with her schnauzers, and she'd smoke these cigars and she had these hats, and she was very open. And I thought, God, how can she do that? Because she had even been on the news in LA. Mm-hmm. And I thought, here I am walking with her, Come on.
Did you get a cigar?
No. Oh, God, no. I didn't want her cigars. She was a lot of fun. I really liked her. A lot of fun. And she used to tell me, don't ever go with a bar owner, and she had all sorts of motherly advice for me. She was nice.
That's nice. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. That's sort of what you're doing now for young lesbians that will see this.
Yeah, because she said, she says, I want you to pay attention to how much you like chocolate, because that could sometimes, those kind of loves can lead to alcoholism, and I don't want to see that for you. Yeah, she told me all sorts of little things. But I really liked her, and she was fun. But by now, I had given up trying to date boys because I realized that never, ever when I was with them did I feel as I did with Judy. And I thought there's just no chance, because, if you're a lesbian, you already know and it just, I didn't say, oh, I shouldn't do this. I said, I do it. I'll do it. And what I mean doing this was live only that way. And I'm glad I did, because I stopped,
What did your mother have to say about your relationship with your girlfriend?
Really? She's still doing a novena in heaven.
There's a lot of novenas that keep going on and on.
She put a lot of shame in me and installed it. And like she didn't like my friend Joy, the one that played lesbian lookout, but she liked the other Lyndon Judy, not that Judy, but another one that tried to make me all dolled up. So she couldn't sway me though. And so right after I graduated, I was done living there, and I had met people, and so
you moved out.
Yeah, I moved out, and I never moved back.
Yeah.
So, and
I think most lesbians don't move back. Don't you think so?
No, because I wanted an opportunity to explore all of this. Mm-hmm. But still, nothing was like with Judy, even with women.
I know that is a very sweet story,
Oh, and it gets sweeter. I'm still in touch with her. And her oldest daughter is a lesbian.
Really? Wow.
A very out lesbian. She teaches theater arts somewhere down in San Diego. Mm-hmm. I don't know. She and her wife are married, so it doesn't seem to be a problem for Judy and her husband. Which is nice. And I hope that was part of my doing. I hope to see her again sometime, but there's a part of me that just is afraid to, kind of, I would love to tell her how important this was,
Yeah,
because she really changed my whole outlook.
that's wonderful.
And
It's a gift.
yeah, and she wanted to be a nun back then. And of course, I didn't want that either. But when I see The Sound of Music, when Maria comes back to the kids and she hugs
Sure.
them, yeah, well, we were holding hands while we watched that movie. So, I mean, we were really tied into all of that.
You were in a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, my mother, whenever I bring people around the house,
Mhm.
she was okay. She wouldn't be nasty to them. She just wasn't very warm either.
Uh-huh. You knew what
So,
she was thinking.
oh, yeah. And I carried a lot of, because it shamed me. And that's why I never wanted to really be very out. And not only that, I got my credential the same year they were trying to get homosexuals out of teaching. And, there was just a lot to go there.
Mhm.
So I just knew I had to remain under the radar. But I got with somebody in the early 70s. And actually, she was a blonde version of Judy. Later, I realized that when I looked at their pictures, I went, oh, I guess I have a type.
I've been there before.
Anyway, but that was a very significant relationship for me. She helped me get through college because my parents couldn't support me anyway when I was in college. And so she just took whatever money I had and let me live with her. And she's the reason I could finish college. And it was really wonderful. And I loved her, not as much as Judy, but
You loved her.
but she never allowed me to be me. She was always embarrassed of me.
Uh,
And, I was too gay looking because she was good 10 years, 11 years older than myself. And so she had been caught by the cops kissing her girlfriend in a park in Alhambra when she was like 15. So she knew how awful it could be. And what broke us up was really not that I didn't love her, because I still do today. It was that she planned a trip with some straight friends at a time when I couldn't go. And so I left. And then I just kept finding a lot of people that didn't really want me, but I thought if I could just work hard enough at it, they would. And that went on for another 30 years.
Finally, that happened, right?
Yeah, finally somebody actually was willing to accept me as is, and that's been a real change. And as I learned in Al-Anon, being happy takes some getting used to. And it really, that's very true. It was very awkward for me to have somebody that actually accepted me and wanted me.
Mhm.
Because, I was
I
with
think
two
we can
different
all relate to that.
Yeah. It just, so it was really, it was a great thing to finally have happen, but I was already 69 or 70 years old. So it was a
Doesn't
long
matter.
wait from 16.
How about your father? What was he responsive to your
He
lifestyle?
he didn't know Judy really, but he did know Nancy, the one in after, then in college. And he just liked her as a person. I don't know. He had a stroke that made him aphasic in like 75. So he was kind of out
Not
of it.
there, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. But he saw me one time. I was with Jeanette and not Nancy. And because of the aphasia, he says, so your car, where does your car live now? And I said, oh, my car lives with Jeanette in Pasadena. Oh, because that's how they talk.
Oh.
And so, yeah, he never had any, but he treated me, he called me Pony Boy from the time I was very young. And he really liked that I was more inclined toward male arts of, mechanics and things like that. He would give me a case of oil for Christmas.
That was
And I
very
loved it.
strange. And you liked it?
Oh, I loved it. I had a Volkswagen. You have to change every 2,000 miles. That saved me a lot of money, and he taught me how to do it. I had my
That's
own,
good.
creeper and everything. Oh no, I loved it. My mother said, "Midge, don't give her that. Give her something nice and girly." So he got some black panties with a red heart. I never wore them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. I could
Mark
tell he didn't.
had a high school.
You're frozen.
What?
You were frozen.
Okay. So I said Marge had a high school girlfriend. Can you
Uh-huh.
hear that? Okay. Lean it forward a little bit.
Okay.
And her mother came looking for her. Go ahead and tell the story about your
Well,
father.
Okay, we were very tight in love, but not sexual. I
Mhm.
don't know how to say it. Okay, so she was going to college and they had this big dance thing with I don't know, some club, male club, put on an event for everybody going to college. So anyhow, I knew she had a date for that event, which was not happiness on my part.
Mm-hmm.
I was at home because my job as a lifeguard had ended. And so I'm at home, I'm actually in bed asleep, and her mother arrives at our door. Where is my girlfriend? And I said, well, she went to this dance with so-and-so, and he's already home. Where is she? And I said, I have no idea. But anyhow, she ratted on for a while, and then she left. And she comes back an hour later. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And again, I have to come upstairs. Where is she? I have no idea. I want to see your room, that sort of thing. And I said, I haven't seen her. And so eventually the phone rang and it was her husband, and my ex-girlfriend was now home. And so the mother had to leave and never apologized for her behavior. And my
No.
dad, as she left out of the driveway, my dad turned to me and he said, that's it. You get rid of that one.
Whoa.
So she went to college and sent me a Dear Joan letter, and that was the end of that.
Just remind me, I got a letter too. And it was written in red because she was so brokenhearted. We're coming up to the anniversary of that letter. It was April 29th, 1965, but who remembers the details?
Not you.
I just
Not me.
remember the Dear Joan letter. Mhm.
Yeah.
But wasn't your dad a sheriff then?
Yeah.
Your father
My
was
dad
a
was
sheriff.
county sheriff. But he wasn't having any more of my love affair.
Well, that mother was the crazy one, not her.
Yeah.
Yeah, to show up at our home at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I
Where
never,
was she?
I never found out what had really happened.
Oh.
I didn't ask.
Well, I
Oh.
remember somebody told me along the way that the mother really takes it harder, and the father is glad because they're the only man in your life, so to speak.
Okay.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother had a fit. But I didn't have that high school romance. I did, but I didn't. But that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a heartache. You can't run to you have nobody to talk to about it.
Nobody.
Uh-huh.
Nobody.
Yeah.
When I was so upset, I was crying for days, and we were still going to school together because that was the end of April. And oh, it was torture. But we remained friendly, and then I could drive, so it was wonderful. But yeah, it never
Teaching.
went back to where it was.
When you were teaching, did students come to you to be able to talk about these things for
Not
themselves?
really. No, not really.
That's tough, isn't it?
On them or me?
On them.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really was aware of much of that,
Mhm.
but I remember feeling badly. One time I did PE for a while, and the girls were talking to me. This is like 8th grade girls, and they said, "Oh, they were trying to tell me about this boy." I go, "Well, who is he?" And well, the one that everybody teases and calls him a faggot and everything. And I'm like, "Who is that?" And they told me. And so I told my partner Chuck, and we kept a special ear open then, because we weren't going to have that. But kids they're ruthless. They do it under the radar. So
Right.
so no, it never kind of came out at school.
That's good.
But when they would call each other fag or retard or anything like that, I would stop the class and I'd say, if you have anybody in your family who is of another race, raise your hand. If you have anybody that has to use a wheelchair, raise your hand. If you have anybody gay, raise your hand. If you have anybody in your family that some people would call retarded because they're real slow, raise your hand. And by then, almost everybody's hand had gone. I said, so why are we so nasty about these things?
Good
Because
point.
we all have one or two of these because your hands kept going up. So let's not call each other things that hurt and judge people for stuff like that. It's just not okay.
Mhm.
So
That's good.
I tried. That was one of my main missions as a teacher, was to stop all that kind of stuff, not just the one toward gays, but
Right.
but just yeah, and that and when you call somebody a name, how that dehumanizes them and allows you to put them below you, and how that is not a good thing. That's why most of those names come up.
Mhm.
And maybe it's because that first time I saw that word on that little booklet,
Right.
and I was like, oh my God, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
And I think not feeling wanted because you knew you were different.
yeah.
And then, you had that first relationship where you did feel wanted, but then to continue that through your life is difficult.
Yeah, trying to replicate that feeling
Mhm.
where I did feel accepted and loved and wanted and so special. I mean, we're going to buy that house someday. But not unfortunately, I loved her so much that after we graduated, she said, would you like to be roommates? And I knew by then
Right.
that we weren't on the same path.
Yeah.
And I had to love her enough to not go for that.
Love yourself enough too.
Yeah.
Really.
But at the time I thought, no, you've got to go and be what you are. And we're not the same. Not anymore. Because I had been with other women here and there, so I knew that wasn't where she was coming from.
Mhm.
So she's had a successful family and marriage, and that's nice to know.
Yeah. Her life goes on too. I thought it was interesting. Her husband was so anxious about her seeing you.
Yeah, that meant a lot to me, though. When she said that, I was like, oh, yeah. Because part of me by then,
I hope he's really anxious.
did I make all this up?
No.
Or, yeah. And no, I didn't. And because that was a real acknowledgement that no, she must have told him. So good.
Every time they had sex, I'm sure she thought about it.
Yeah, but I mattered. That was really cool. I
Mhm.
mattered.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So did your sexuality ever interfere with your employment in any way?
No,
Good.
no. To me, that they weren't even, it's just like, when you were nursing, did you really think about sex with that person? No.
I
You know?
did. Here's
Well,
that person.
I'm talking about
There's
the
where I
person
thought about it.
that
Right
you were
behind us,
servicing.
right there.
Yeah. No, the person you're nursing. See, when I was in my classroom, yeah, I didn't like hearing fag and dyke and all those
Yeah.
words being thrown about, but I didn't like hearing all the other words either. So I was more of a, let's not be so cruel
Mhm.
kind of
Painful.
thing. Yeah, I didn't, when I was teaching, I wasn't a lesbian. That wasn't I don't know how to say it,
Right.
but it's
were-
not what was out
You
there.
were an educator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I care just as much about kids being hurt with those nasty names. So we all have something we're a little less comfortable with in our background.
Yeah.
And nobody should have to endure that. So if your mother, is in a wheelchair and, it's embarrassing to you, or, you shouldn't have to go through that. And so
Well,
I
thank
got,
you for going through this with us again. So that's,
okay.
yeah,
This was much better because I had some time to think about it, and I've really, really been working about disengaging the shame that my mother tried to put in me, because she just wanted me to change. She didn't really care other than how it would look to others.
that's right.
And,
And my mother was like that also.
yeah. So, well, maybe they've got their candles floating now. I don't know.
Mhm.
But
It's painful for them, but it's painful for us too.
yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Because I just, but they were always nice to my people.
That's
Anybody I brought in. And I found that nice. And I was telling May just the other day, when Nancy, the one I was with in college, when we went back, and my grandmother was like 95 at the time, and she had become blind. And she said to Nancy, "Come here so I can see you." And she
Mhm.
touched her face, because we were watching a movie about something like that. And I said, it meant a lot to me that my grandmother somehow knew that this was an important person,
Right.
and she wanted to see her as
Mhm.
they do with their hands. And I said, that was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
So, little moment, but big moment.
I know. Well, the thing about this whole project is, as we go through everybody's story and we think of our own stories, all this stuff comes up.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not bad stuff, but some of it's painful to remember, and some of it's exhilarating. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm better now than I was the last time.
You're great. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you. Do you have any other questions you'd like to ask us?
No, I'm feeling better now.
Good.
Because, this time I really touched with the parts that really meant something to me.
Uh-huh.
And not what my mom did to me, but what, the important parts
Hmm.
to me. So I'm owning my own life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You still have some left.
I do.
I know, you can do all kinds of things. Yeah, and you're with a wonderful person, so there you go.
Yep. So,
This is your time, Donna.
yeah. Well, I planned well for my retirement, so I'm actually able to enjoy, my life now, really enjoy it. And that was the best part of being a lesbian, I think, was I knew I was never going to be able to count on anybody. I wasn't going to inherit any money.
Mhm.
And I wasn't, you know, I was going to have to take care of me, and I planned it enough to do so.
Well, you know, I think that Marge was talking about this for herself the other day, that exact, almost exact words. And this is why we wanted to focus too on people's careers, because I believe women have to have money to get to where they're going to go.
Yeah, because you're,
You have
oh,
to think about it. It's just not going to come to you in a bag.
well, see, my mom's, one of her deals was, I want you to get married so that you're safe. You know, she meant
Yeah,
like being
right.
taken care of. But I said, like Elaine, my sister that had gotten a divorce, and you know, just
How safe is
yeah, that's safe. So it wasn't, I just knew I had to take good care of myself.
Mhm.
And so I asked around, and I started putting the money away as soon as I started making a good salary, which is after I knew you. Because that was a hard decade. But I did start putting it away, and so now I'm good.
Mhm. Right.
So we're hoping to go maybe back to New England later this fall. Hoping to maybe go to Catalina for a couple of days for May 70th. Yeah, we got stuff going. You know, we're going
Yeah,
to
good.
cruise to
You have a
Panama
life. So
Canal.
does she.
Yeah, you know, so we're doing what we want to do,
Mhm.
and she's learning how to not have to be so, you know, rigid. Yeah,
Yeah. She writes her own script now.
yeah, and she's beginning to like it. She says, you
Mhm.
know, I never used to just say, "Oh, here I am," and dance around and stuff. And she says, I think you're changing me. I said, well,
I
if you
hope
got
so.
to change, you might as well be the best. So yeah, we
You're
laugh
happy,
and
I'm
giggle
happy.
about.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. You guys look well rested, especially you, Marge. What did you do? Get spoiled up there?
What's that?
Oh, for
You look
that,
especially rested.
you look rested.
Oh, yeah, well, I've been on vacation for 4 or 5 days.
But you look really,
She looks
really,
good, huh?
yeah, she does.
Thank you.
Yeah. You look good, but she looks
I can look
especially,
good. I can always improve. That's what my mother has said that.
well, of
You,
course you could. You could do a little something with your hair, and
My hair
what's wrong with
makes
your
me
makeup?
nuts.
And
But you see,
no,
I
it's
don't
just,
have in these interviews, I don't have the primary spot. She does. So she
yeah.
has all the worry about it. No, I don't. I just get to sit here and enjoy it.
Did you
That's
ever
good
hear,
enough.
did you ever hear about a thing called Project 10?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the LAUSD, right?
I don't know. We just interviewed someone who she and her partner, Gina Uribe, were very
Yes.
right
Yeah.
involved.
It started at Fairfax High School
Right.
in the late 70s.
Mhm.
And a lesbian teacher there, I guess, started it at Fairfax, and it kind of grew. And then I stopped hearing things about it.
But they stopped it. She
Oh,
died. Yeah. But her partner, we interviewed right before you, actually. And I thought, I bet Donna knows about that.
oh yeah. Yeah, because that was the first outreach to try to make us be a part of the school in real life.
Uh,
So it was and that came right around that Prop 6 time also. So that was very, very bold.
mhm.
And like I said, that coffee shop I went to, coffee house, was up on Fairfax, north of Fairfax High School. So but those women there, they just worked. They didn't look dykey. They didn't look girly. They just looked like them. And they took care of themselves. They took care of their parents. You know, it was a good example for us to see. I felt
Uh-huh.
that you don't have to be some of these crazy, things, that we need to take care of ourselves and each other.
Mhm.
And that's what I got from them. And they're all gone now, but the singer, Terry Lee, she was very good.
That's what she mentioned that too.
What was that?
The singer that you talked about.
Terry Lee, yeah,
Mhm.
she just passed away about 3 years ago. There's a website that's about the Garrett,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, we had a birthday party, a surprise birthday party, and they thought I looked like the kid in Bonnie and Clyde,
Uh-huh.
the Dippy kid, and we all dressed up as these characters and brought them there. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So, oh, that's neat that
Yeah.
she mentioned that. Yeah, because it went from 58 till 71 or 2. And so, yeah, if she lived in that area or was familiar with it, it was a really good place to be. And after hours, after it closed down, it became a little gayer, but still
Mhm.
not out front.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Oh, good. So thank you. Say hello to May and
I will
get
do.
this together. You'll see it.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to be happy with this.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you much.
Okay.
Bye, Miss Marge.
Bye. I gotta get out of the chair.
She can't sit still too long.
No, neither can I. I took my Ritalin just before we got on.
Okay, so we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
I
Bye-bye.
Bye.